What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for Wednesday. It's a hump day, June. Haha, caught myself. June 5th, 2024. The 5 threw me off because I'm crazy, crazy like a fox. Anyway, hope you're having a good week thus far. It's all downhill from here. Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday are all just a slide downhill, covered in mud. Anyway, what was I going to tell you guys? Something important I was going to tell you. Oh, please hit like and subscribe on the videos. And if you're listening on podcasts, please follow the show on whatever app you use. I use Apple Podcasts, but I think it sucks. It's one of the worst apps out there, but I just don't have the patience to change. I don't like Spotify. I don't like Amazon podcasts. So Google went away. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about you. No, I'd rather not. So today we're ranking the opposing receivers and tight ends the Buckeyes have on their schedule in 2024. We're just doing top 5. I'm not going to talk about Akron's wide receivers and tight ends. Okay, I don't think you want to hear that. You would definitely fall asleep, and if you're driving, that's not safe for anybody. So anyways, let's get into it here. Top 5 wide receiver and tight end groups. They both have separate rooms, so I would call them groups. So let's rank them out. There are just 2 1,000-yard receivers on the OSU roster this year, or on the schedule this year for the Buckeyes. And one of them is a transfer who did not do it against the Power 5 team last year or schedule. So, number 1, same as the running backs, Oregon. These guys are going to be a major thorn in the side of the Buckeyes, offensively and defensively. So, we know that's game 6, October 12th at Oregon. So, you got Tez Johnson leading the way. Last year, 86 catches, 1,182 yards, and 10 touchdowns. The guy is a beast. The year before, so previously he was at Troy 3 years before last season. So he played in 36 games at Troy and then 14 at Oregon last year. And at Troy, he put up about 1,700 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. So he's really putting together a hell of a career. He's up almost to 3,000 yards receiving on his career. But again, he's made that jump from the Sun Belt Conference to, big time college football at Oregon. So he's the number 1 locked down. We gotta keep him on ice October 12th. Then behind him, though, you still got Trayshawn Holden. You might have heard of him. Gary Bryant. They both put up more than 400 yards last year. Holden had 37 catches, 6 touchdowns. And our guy, Gary Bryant, I believe it's Gary Bryant Jr., actually, he had a season back in 2021 with USC where he had almost 600 yards on 44 catches. Now, last year with Oregon, over 400 yards, 30 catches, 4 touchdowns. So he's got a nice little career going, over 1,000 yards, 11 TDs. Then you got the freaking Ducks added 5-star Evan Stewart from Texas A&M. He was the top receiver in the portal this offseason. At Texas A&M, his freshman year, he had 53 catches for 650 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last year, as a sophomore, only played in 8 games, 38 catches, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. Then you got tight ends getting into the act. You got a senior tight end, Terrence Ferguson. He had 42 catches last year and has a career of 13 touchdowns. Did I say 42 catches last year? Yeah. He has 13 career touchdowns. So they do it all, spread the ball around. I'm kind of curious to see how Evan Stewart factors into this mix because Tez Johnson really seems to be, wide receiver 1 for them. So they're talented and loaded. So that's why they're number 1. Number 2, now you could argue that the guy delivering the ball for this group has had some issues with that, especially accuracy. But I got Penn State. That is week 8 or game 8 for us because we get 2 bye weeks this season. So November 2nd at Penn State. They had a few losses to the portal, Keandre Lambert-Smith and some others, but this group could be better than last year's. You got Harrison Wallace. He caught 19 passes last year while dealing with injuries. He has 19 catches 2 years in a row and just 2 touchdowns in his career. But then you got Julian Fleming, former Buckeye, transferring in for his final year. He caught 34 passes for over 500 yards and 6 touchdowns in 2022 with the Buckeyes. Last year, just 26 catches, 270 yards, as he was splitting time with Carnell Tate. And he was definitely going to be relegated to even fewer catches and snaps this year had he stayed. He has 7 touchdowns in his career with the Buckeyes. So I think Julian Fleming is definitely an upgrade. They've said in spring interviews that they learned what a jugs machine is and how to use it. That's frightening. Who the hell's their receiver coach is my question. But anyways, so Fleming will be an upgrade for sure. Can he stay healthy is the big question. And if he can play every game, he's going to chip in 5 to 10 targets per game, I think. And Tyler Warren, the tight end. Don't forget about him. No tight end in the Big Ten caught more touchdowns than Tyler Warren. He had 7 last year. He has a total of 11 in his career. Last year, he had 34 catches, 422 yards. Year before that, just 10 catches for 123, but really went off last year. So that's why I think they are the number 2 wide receiver and tight end group on the Buckeyes schedule. Number 3, this one might throw you for a loop, but stick with me. Indiana, yes, the Hoosiers. Game 11, November 23rd. That's the week before the game against the Cheaters. So you got Coach Kirch, Signetti. He landed 4 receivers out of the portal. They combined for over 450 career receptions, over 5,500 yards combined. First guy is in from James Madison. He was a huge star. Elijah Surratt. He's just third year. I believe he's a third-year guy. Yeah, he's a sophomore last year at James Madison. 13 games, 82 catches, 1,191 yards, 8 TDs. That guy, if he can make the leap from James Madison up to Indiana in Big Ten football, look out for him. That's gonna be a huge one. Then you got Donovan McCulley. He led Indiana last year with 48 receptions, 644 yards, and 6 TDs. Played in all 12 games. And the year before that, in 2022, just 16 catches, 169, and 1 touchdown. So he's, building and building, kind of exploded onto the scene last year. If he can put together another year where he's building off of 23, then look out for him. They also got a tight end, Zach Horton from James Madison. They fleeced James Madison. Not cool, man. Let's see. In 22, he had 13 catches, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then last year, he had 13 games, 27 catches, 275 yards, 6 touchdowns. So really coming on, and look for him to put together probably a decent season, and if they can distribute the ball well. Again, can the quarterback distribute the ball? That's the question with all these guys, right? Unfortunately, these wide receivers and tight ends can't throw it to themselves. That would be weird. That's not football. Anyway, number 4. Now, this one depends if Dylan Ravioli is the quarterback or if they're giving it to whatever his name is, Harburger, the Hamburglar. Anyway, so Nebraska brought in a Wake Forest transfer receiver, Jamal Banks. He's 6'4", 205, big dude. Had over 100 receptions last year in the past 2 years, 600 plus yards in the last 2 years. He had 9 touchdowns in 2022, 4 in 2023. This guy's putting together a nice little career. He's got over 1,400 total yards in his career. So if he can make that move from Wake to Nebraska, again, I know Wake's Power 5. I forget the ACC is Power 5 technically, but you know what I mean. So another big piece added through the portal there. Then you got Texas transfer Isaiah Nayer. He only caught 1 pass last year for the Longhorns, but he came in, started with Wyoming back in 2020, and had 44 catches with them in 2021. And then looks like he had an injury year, didn't play at all in 22. And then again, just the 1 catch in 23. So can he stay healthy, and can he be a part of this offense for Nebraska? And then you got a slot, Jalen Lloyd. He averaged 39.5 yards per catch on 6 catches last year as a freshman. Played all 10 in 10 games. 6 catches, 237, 3 TDs. Guy's a big play machine. So can he continue on that? And then your tight end, Thomas Fedone, nothing really to write home about. 25 catches, 260 yards, 4 TDs. See if they can use him more in, if Ravioli's looking for an outlet pass, sometimes that tight end can be useful. All right, at number 5 here, tight ends and receivers, the Wolverines. The Cheaters, they lost their top 2 receivers, so a lot of their young players are going to have to step up. We've heard some rumblings of Will Johnson playing both ways. I wouldn't advise that, but go nuts. I don't give a shit. So Samaj Morgan played in all 15 games last year as a true freshman. He had 22 catches, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 9.3 average. That's respectable. He had 4 rushing attempts as well for 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. So a rushing threat there. Then you got Tyler Morris, played in all 15 games last year as well as a true freshman. But again, these are 2 true freshmen. I'm sorry, he's a sophomore. My bad. So anyways, he has had about 200 yards on 13 catches, 1 touchdown. Not much to speak of there. Then you got Frederick Moore, another young receiver. This is his second year. He's played quite a bit, played in all 13 games, 4 catches, 32 yards, but that's it. And then, of course, the tight end, Colston Loveland, probably the headliner of this crew. He's going into his 3rd year. He's going to be a go-to guy for a new quarterback, whoever it might be. You got he's had 16 catches as a freshman, 45 as a sophomore. So he's almost got 1,000 yards receiving in his short career, 6 touchdowns total. So that's all I got for you. Those are my top 5. You got Oregon's group, Penn State's group, then Indiana's group, then Nebraska, then the Cheaters. And like I said, it all depends on who the quarterback is for like 3 of these teams, because we're really not sure. So that will determine how much they really are influential, So I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.